for some reaction to the review on the white paper on local government. I'm now joined by Dr. Harlan Cloete, who is a research fellow at the University of the Free State. Dr. Cloete, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. Take politics out of local government and you'll see a different result, says the minister.
Good afternoon for you. Good afternoon to all the viewers. In our research throughout the country, there is a recurring theme where officials tell you that they can do the work, but a lot of times there's political interference, either in terms of appointment of staff, or it could be with trying to influence the supply chain. So it is a recurring problem. I'm not quite sure how we're going to deal with that. But political interference or overstepping of political mandates, because there is sometimes a blurred line. Sometimes we get oversight wrong and we confuse it sometimes with interference. So there's that disjunction between interference and oversight.
What's interesting for me, and you may have seen this, especially after the last election we had on the 29th of May. Everyone who walks into government, as soon as they get appointed, then they start bringing on board people from their respective political parties. They get surrounded by them and then things begin to change. I'm wondering whether, because for the longest time, this was largely associated with the ANC because it was the dominant party. But as soon as other parties began, to be in charge, they started doing pretty much the same.
Look, the theory is, for example, the mayor can appoint an advisor. And so there is the political appointments that normally happen with the politicians. They are allowed to appoint support staff. There's nothing really untoward about that. So the support staff, the political party or the minister, he or she can appoint his staff that can support him or her, be it personal assistants, etc. Then there's the other line, the administration, where that is where the council in the case of municipalities, the council appoints the CEO or the municipal manager, who in turn then appoints the senior staff. So appointment of staff, sometimes those lines are blurred. When senior people that also carry senior positions outside, when they are appointed, or for people from a party who are not necessarily appointed because of competence, but because of being a card-carrying member of a particular party. That has been problematic as well. And so the move has been over the last couple of years through SALGA, through the National School of Government, through Cogta themselves, to say, how do we professionalize the bureaucracy so that those that are employed to work for the state are competent, are ethical, and can do the work?
Now, among the ideas that are being bandied about is the possibility of going for perhaps fewer municipalities than we have at the moment. Your thoughts on that one?
Remember, we had, before 2000, there was about 800 municipalities, 800. And the idea was that you amalgamate some of these municipalities to have better service delivery. And so we've got this. From 800, we moved to 256 municipalities in 2000. So it's probably the right time now to look at that and to look at whether this model is working, whether we should not even have even fewer municipalities than this. Because in the case in my town, in Paarl, you had a mayor, and 10 k's away in Wellington, you also had another mayor. And that was the logic, that you would amalgamate these smaller towns into one bigger town. Where it has worked in terms of we need to go and look at this, and I think this review will say, if we 25 years ago moved from 800 plus to 256, what is working, what should be amalgamated, where do we join, and maybe move it to less. There's also the argument whether we need district municipalities. Remember, we've got category C, which are the district municipalities, and category B. And so communities are often confused when there's a district mayor and there's a local mayor. So the argument is also, do we really need municipalities? Do we need strong B municipalities? or do we need strong districts? And districts, there's about 44 district municipalities and 8 metros. Shouldn't we be working with less to work more efficiently and more effectively? So those are the inputs that the communities or academics and people can make to see whether we will not have a more efficient and effective government and whether less is more.
But then, I mean, if we've moved from 800 plus to 256, so we should by now be able to answer the question of whether reducing the number of municipalities actually delivers the goods, shouldn't we?
I mean, reducing is one. I think what makes or break an institution is people. If you have the wrong people, you can have less municipalities and the wrong people. So what the municipal staff regulations, for example, that was introduced in 2021, tries to do is to make sure that we hire people. It sets out the regulations. How do we hire people? How do we train and develop people? How do we performance manage them? And so if we're going to amalgamate, because some municipalities, quite frankly, are dysfunctional. There's just no work culture. For example, in the Free State, not a single municipality for the last decade received a clean audit. Now, remember, you can get clean audits on dirty streets, but at least clean audit says that you can account for every cent in your municipality, that there are systems in place and accountability. So if we talk about reducing municipalities, that must be for the right reasons, and we must make sure that the right people are appointed into positions.
But then, I mean, dysfunctional. You know, for instance, I mean, the funding model is another big issue. But when you look at some of the richest municipalities in the country, your metros, Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, you know, Cape Town. I mean, there's a lot of dysfunctionality there. And you look at small municipalities that don't have, that are in fact not sustainable. There's chaos there as well. Now, you ask yourself, I mean, where there's money and, I mean, places like Johannesburg and Tshwane have no reason to be as chaotic as they are, because they have money, but there's also skills there, but they are chaotic. And then you have all these small municipalities that really have no money, that cannot afford to employ the people that they have, yet services have to be delivered there, but they are just as chaotic as well.
You see, I think it's about checks and balances as well. There are some municipalities that I visit and I come there in the morning, then people are in the kitchen, catering, and some people are at work, but they're not at work. They are not working. The body is there, but the mind is somewhere else completely. They are not there. And so there's a lack of will also in municipalities. There's a lack of innovation. There's a lack of, and I can back what I'm saying with research, is that we have got a managerial problem also in municipalities, and we've got a lack of a culture of work. And so municipalities are such important vehicles or institutions of state. That's why I like what the white paper says. Every municipality must work. Because you see, if we fail at local government, the entire system collapses. Because local government is where people experience the love or the indifference of the state. And local government works in concert with other spheres of government, like your provincial and your national government. So it's a combination. It's not one thing. It's political will sometimes. It's administrative will. Sometimes it's not having the basic equipment. But then again, the Senko municipality in the Eastern Cape, a small rural municipality, they've entrenched clean governance, clean audits. There's accountability. So it's people ultimately, Vuyo, that make or break an institution. It's the passion, it's the commitment, it's the policies, it's consequence management. So it's a variety of factors, but it all comes down to leadership and to people in institutions.
It all comes down to people and leadership. Let me thank you very much, Doc, for your time and for your insights. Really appreciate it.